Hey there lovely people. Just before this video, I'd like to tell you that this video does have some audio problems. This is the last video that I'm putting out that has audio issues. What happened was essentially the cable was broken for my Blue Yeti. And so I got a new cable and it's all arrived, and so now I'm in the process of filming new videos. But of course, you know, given that these videos take time and stuff like that, there's a little production lag, so there'll be a gap of a few days or something. But yeah, so this is the last video I made that has those audio glitches. If you don't mind, keep watching, but I know some of you are a bit sensitive to, you know, any static or anything in the audio, so if that's a problem with you, feel free to give this one a miss. Just while we're here, you know, here's my studio kind of setup, and I got a new arm. This is the Blue Compass. It's the name of this boom arm, and I've got a new cord and everything, and it's connected down inside of the back of this arm here. So, I hope that's exciting for you. It's a little bit of a production upgrade as well, which is always nice. So yeah, I'll see you very soon.
Hi there, wonderful, beautiful, and interesting friends. I hope you're having a super lovely day today. Today we are going to be continuing our Whispering Wikipedia series about cheetahs. This one's been super cute and super interesting and a little bit intimidating, as cheetahs are dang fast. If you're new here, the reason I make these videos is to help people sleep, to help them relax or take a break, and to also help them not feel alone, because you know that you're hanging out with me. We're just chilling out together, learning something new, and you can play this in the background while you study or do a video game, or you know, something like that, or draw. Anyway, if you have something you want me to read about, please leave it in the comment below, because I always love seeing what you guys want me to read about. Also, if you're around, I'd love you to say hello. I love hearing from all of you. It means a lot. Anyway, last time we just finished talking about vocalizations the cheetahs have, how they vocalize and communicate. But another major means of communication is by scent. The male will often investigate urine-marked places, territories, or common landmarks for a long time by crouching on the forelegs and carefully smelling the place. Then he will stand up close to an elevated spot, such as a tree trunk, stumps, or rocks, with the tail raised and the penis pointed at the area to be marked. Other observing individuals might repeat the ritual. Females may also show marking behaviour, but less prominently than males do. Among females, those in oestrus will show maximum urine making, and their excrement can attract males from far off. In Botswana, cheetahs are frequently captured by ranchers to protect livestock. By setting up traps in traditional marking spots, the calls of the trapped cheetah can attract more cheetahs to the place. Touch and visual cues are other ways of signalling in cheetahs. Social meetings involve mutual sniffing of the mouth, anus, and genitals. Individuals will groom one another, lick each other's faces, and rub cheeks. However, they seldom lean on or rub their flanks against each other. The tear streaks on the face can sharply define expression at close range, cheetahs probably use the alternate light and dark rings on the tail to signal their cubs to follow them. Diet and hunting. The cheetah is a carnivore that hunts small to medium-sized prey, weighing 20 to 60 kilograms, which is 44 to 132 pounds, but mostly less than 40 kilograms, which is 88 pounds. Its primary prey are medium-sized ungulates. They are the major component of the diet in certain areas, such as the Derma and Dorcas gazelles in the Sahara, Impala in the eastern and southern African woodlands, springbok in the arid savannas to the south, and Thompson's gazelle in the Serengeti. Smaller antelopes like the common duiker are a frequent prey in the southern Kalahari. Larger ungulates are typically avoided, though Nyala, whose males weigh around 120 kilograms, 260 pounds, were found to be the major prey in a study in the Finda Game Reserve. In Namibia, cheetahs are the major predators of livestock. The diet of the Asiatic cheetah consists of chinkara, desert hare, goited gazelle, urial wild goats, and livestock. In India, cheetahs used to prey mostly on black buck. There are no records of cheetahs killing humans. Wyatt, there are none. Cheetahs in the Kalahari have been reported feeding on citron melons for their water content. Prey preferences and hunting success vary with age, sex, and number of cheetahs involved in the hunt and on the vigilance of the prey. Generally, only groups of cheetahs, coalitions, or mothers and cubs will try to kill larger prey. Mothers with cubs especially look out for larger prey and tend to be more successful than females without cubs. Individuals on the periphery of the prey herd are common targets. Vigilant prey, which would react quickly on seeing the cheetah, are not preferred. Cheetahs hunt primarily throughout the day, sometimes with peaks at dawn and dusk. They tend to avoid larger predators, like primarily nocturnal lions. Cheetahs in the Sahara and Masai Mara in Kenya hunt after sunset to escape the high temperatures of the day. Cheetahs use their vision to hunt instead of their sense of smell. They keep a lookout for prey from resting sites or low branches. The cheetah will stalk its prey, trying to conceal itself in cover and approach as close as possible, often within 60 to 70 meters, 200 to 300 feet of the prey, or even further for less alert prey. Alternatively, the cheetah can lie hidden in cover and wait for the prey to come nearer. A stalking cheetah assumes a partially crouched posture with the head lower than the shoulders. It will move slowly and be still at times. In areas of minimal cover, the cheetah will approach within 200 meters, which is 660 feet, of the prey and start the chase. The chase typically lasts a minute. In a 2013 study, the length of chases averaged 173 meters, 568 feet, and the longest run measured 559 meters, which is 1,834 feet. The cheetah can give up the chase if it is detected by the prey early, or if it cannot make a kill quickly. Cheetahs catch their prey by tripping it during the chase, by hitting its rump with the fore suffocates to kill smaller prey. Cheetahs have an average hunting success rate of 25 to 40%, higher for smaller and more vulnerable prey. Once the hunt is over, the prey is taken near a bush or under a tree. The cheetah, highly exhausted after the chase, rests beside the kill and pants heavily for 5 to 55 minutes. Meanwhile, cheetahs nearby who did not take part in the hunt might feed on the kill immediately. Groups of cheetah devour the kill peacefully, though minor noises and snapping may be observed. Cheetahs can consume large quantities of food. A cheetah at the Etosha National Park in Namibia was found to consume as much as 10 kilograms within 2 hours, which is 22 pounds. However, on a daily basis, a cheetah feeds on around 4 kilograms, which is 8.8 pounds of meat. That's still a lot. Cheetahs, especially mothers with cubs, remain cautious even as they eat, pausing to look around for fresh prey or for predators who may steal the kill. Cheetahs move their heads from one side to the other, so the sharp carnassial teeth tear the flesh, which can then be swallowed without chewing, so they tear and then swallow. They typically begin with the hindquarters and then progress towards the abdomen and the spine. Ribs are chewed on at the ends, and the limbs are not generally torn apart while eating. Unless the prey is very small, the skeleton is left almost intact after feeding on the meat. Cheetahs might lose 10 to 15% of their kills to large carnivores such as hyenas and lions, and grey wolves in Iran. That's random. To defend itself or its prey, a cheetah will hold its body low to the ground, staring threateningly ahead, and the ears folded backwards. This may be accompanied by moans, hisses and growls, and hitting the ground with its forepaws. Cheetahs have rarely been observed scavenging kills. This may be due to vultures and spotted hyena, adroitly capturing and consuming heavy carcasses within a short time. But what about their reproduction and life cycle? Cheetahs are induced ovulators and can breed throughout the year. Females can have their first litter at 2 or 3 years of age. Polyestrous females have an oestrus, which is a heat cycle, is 12 days long on average, but it can vary from 3 days to a month. A female can conceive again after 17 to 20 months from giving birth, or even sooner if a whole litter is lost. Males can breed at less than 2 years of age in captivity, but this may be delayed in the wild until the male acquires a territory. A 2007 study showed that females who gave birth to more litters earlier in life often died younger, indicating a trade-off between the longevity and yearly reproductive success. Urine marking in males can become more pronounced when a female in their vicinity comes into oestrus. Males, sometimes even in coalitions, fight among one another to secure access to the female. Often, one male will eventually win dominance over the others and mate with the female, though a female can mate with different males. Mating begins with the male approaching the female, who lies down on the ground. Individuals often chirp, purr, or yelp at this time. No courtship behavior is observed. The male immediately secures hold of the female's nape, and copulation takes place. The pair then ignore each other, but meet 3 days before finally parting ways, I guess just to make sure that it worked. After a gestation of nearly 3 months, a litter of 1 to 8 cubs is born, though those of 3 to 4 cubs are more common. Births take place at 20 to 25-minute intervals in a sheltered place such as thick vegetation. The eyes are shut at birth and open in 4 to 11 days. Newborn cubs might spit a lot and make soft churring noises. They start walking by 2 weeks. Their nape, shoulders and back are thickly covered with long bluish grey hair called a mantle, which gives them a mohawk-type appearance. This fur is shed as the cheetah grows older. A study suggested that this mane gives cheetahs cubs the appearance of honey badgers and could act as camouflage from attacks by these badgers or predators that tended to avoid them. Compared to other felids, remember the word felid, cheetah cubs are highly vulnerable to several predators during the first few weeks of their life. Mothers keep their cubs hidden in dense vegetation for the first 2 months and nurse in the early morning. The mother is extremely vigilant at this stage. She stays within 1 kilometre, 0.62 miles, of the lair, frequently visits her cubs, moves them every 5 to 6 days, and remains with them after dark, though she tries to make minimal noise. She usually cannot defend her litter from these predators. Predation is the leading cause of mortality in cheetah cubs. A study showed that in areas with a low density of predators, such as Namibian farmlands, around 70% of the cubs make it beyond the age of 14 months, whereas in areas like the Serengeti National Park, where several large carnivores exist, the survival rate was just 17%. Deaths also occur from starvation if their mothers abandon them, fires or pneumonia because of exposure to bad weather. Generation length of the cheetah is 6 years. Cubs start coming out of the lair at 2 months of age, trailing after their mother wherever she goes. At this point, the mother nurses less and brings solid food to the cubs. They retreat away from the carcass in fear initially, but gradually start eating it. The cubs might purr as the mother licks them clean after the meal. Weaning occurs at 4 to 6 months. To train her cubs in hunting, the mother will catch and let go of live prey in front of her cubs. Cubs' play behavior includes chasing, crouching, pouncing, and wrestling. There is plenty of agility, and attacks are seldom lethal. Playing can improve catching skills in cubs, though the ability to crouch and hide may not develop remarkably. Cubs, as young as 6 months, try to capture small prey like hares and young gazelle. However, they may have to wait until as long as 15 months of age to make successful kills of their own. At around 20 months, offspring become independent. Mothers might have conceived again by then. Siblings may remain together for a few more months before parting ways, or if they're males, possibly becoming a coalition. While females stay close to their mothers, males move further off. The lifespan of the wild cheetahs is 14 to 15 years for females, and their reproductive cycles end by 12 years of age, and males generally live as long as 10 years. Within most species, I think usually males live for a short period of time. Cheetahs appear to be less selective in habitat choice than other felids, and inhabit a variety of ecosystems. Areas with greater availability of prey forests. Cheetahs have been reported at elevations as high as 4,000 meters, which is 13,000 feet. An open area with some cover, such as diffused bushes, is probably ideal for the cheetah because it needs to stalk and pursue its prey over a distance. This also minimizes the risk of encountering larger carnivores. Unlike the bigger cats, the cheetah tends to occur in low densities, typically between 0.3 and 3 adults per 100 kilometers squared, which is 39 square miles. These values are 10 to 30% of those reported for leopards and lions. Cheetahs in eastern and southern Africa occur mostly in savannas like Kalahari and Serengeti. In central, northern and western Africa, cheetahs inhabit arid and mountain ranges and valleys. In the harsh climate of the Sahara, cheetahs prefer high mountains, which receive more rainfall than the surrounding desert. The vegetation and water resources in these mountains supports antelopes. Iranian cheetahs occur in hilly terrain of deserts at elevations of up to 2,000 to 3,000 meters, which is 6,600 to 9,800 feet, where annual precipitation is generally below 100 millimeters, which is 3.9 inches. The primary vegetation in these areas is thinly distributed shrubs less than 1 meter tall, which is 3.3 feet. Okay, next episode we're going to move on to start talking about the historical range of cheetahs. I hope this has been interesting for you. One of the points that I was thinking about in my head was about carcasses. If you know, I don't know if I've talked about it much, but I personally am very interested in evolution, or at least evolutionary history and speculative evolution. One of the traits that is important about humans is, of course, our use of tools and stuff like that. And for a really long time in our genetic history, we were scavengers. And I thought it was a good example with the cheetahs that they left the bones and legs mainly intact, and they leave kind of the carcass. And what pre-humans and early humans did in our scavenging environments is we would go find prey, carcasses that had almost all completely been eaten, and we'd use tools and stuff to crack open bones and eat the bone marrow and stuff like that. So we'd be able to get calories that normal predators, even quite efficient ones, could not get. And that's something that I just randomly thought about in my brain that I remembered at that point. I thought maybe you'd be interested in hearing. But yeah, I always have fun reading these, making little connections in my head between things. I don't know if you do that or not, but I'm definitely happy to be able to read to you. I know that I used to listen to a lot of audiobooks growing up, so there's a soft spot in my heart for hearing someone else read. I still do, but I think in my younger years it was very formative to me. I especially also listened to some radio plays, some audiobooks and stuff like that, and also I have watched ASMR since 2012, and I loved it since then, so I'm happy to be able to provide a good service to people, if you like this as well. Okay, well, thank you so much. As always, I'm really grateful for all of you, and I hope that we can hang out again sometime really soon. Goodbye, lovely people.